What's going on, crew? Welcome back to another video where we're going to pour some more concrete, but the job's a little bit more complex than just pouring concrete. Actually subcontracting an awning build out as well, so it's going to be an awning concrete project. So we're going to go break ground right now, because I'm going to have someone come out. Well, the guy who's building the awning is coming out tomorrow to set posts for the awning, and I want the footers to be below grade level of the concrete patio. So I'm gonna go get the patio dug out just today. That's all this video, the first part of this video is gonna be, is me digging out the pad, and then he's gonna come and, like I said, set the posts tomorrow so they can dry up. And then after, I'm gonna let him build the awning first, and then we're gonna pour afterwards. That way the posts are set into the concrete slab, which could be a good and a bad idea, because I know concrete tends to crack around posts, but we're gonna put some felt, so hopefully that helps. So we're gonna get to it. It's gonna be a quick time lapse of me digging out this patio, so let's get to it. All right, so this is what we're working with here. It's about 14 foot for this existing slab. We're gonna come off 10 feet, which is about even with this post right here. And then there's gonna be an awning built off the house that comes out, that leans down right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this dug out, get ready for the post to come and be set. Like I said, we'll get out of here today. That's pretty much what we're doing. Crew, it's been a while, actually been a day. So I just want to give you an update before I start throwing rock in here to get it graded. I got the forms, well, I got it dug out all the way, and I got the form set except for this area right here, that way I can get a buggy in when it's time to pour. So I just got rock and I'm bringing it in by wheelbarrow. Like I said, everything is hand dug with hand tools, so I don't want to bore you guys too much with too much of that. I know in my last video I showed a lot of it, but I know this one I want to show more of the concrete side of things. So like I said, I got it formed up. This is actually my first patio, believe it or not, using duplex nails. I just picked up a lot of the steel stakes, so the duplex nails makes it so much more easier. So did that. Like I said, now it's time to throw some rock in here so I can get it graded, and that's pretty much prep for the pour. I'm not sure when we're pouring. On this job I have it subcontracted to add an awning, so I'm gonna let him build that first, because I got to get it painted, and I don't want to paint after the pad's poured and get paint on the pad, which I know I could cover it, but again, I figured it'd be easier to paint before I pour. So like I said, after this step I'm just in limbo until the guy comes and finishes the awning, which it's a holiday week, so it might not be till next week that happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the rock thrown in, get it graded, and I'll check back in with you guys after that's done. All right, crew, what's going on? Good morning. I'm back out here on this job, getting this gravel spread out. I got a helper with me today, actually my cousin. Y'all don't see him often, but he does help me pretty often right now. But he's getting the gravel unloaded for me. I'm getting it spread out. And then that's really all we're doing today. The guy who's building the awning's coming later this afternoon. We're gonna get that built, and then tomorrow we'll paint it, and then we'll be ready to pour concrete. So like I said, it's a very slow process, slow job. Just kind of getting it in the meantime, like I said, because I subcontracted this awning off and just kind of working around his schedule. But getting this gravel spread, it's the update right now, and then like I said, we'll get it poured here coming soon. Good morning, crew. Today's the day. It's been a long time coming. I think this is like 2 weeks since I started the project. I've been waiting on the guy to build the awning, and then today is the first day that concrete was available to get me in. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I got concrete at 8:30. I just picked the buggy up from the rental place, so I'm headed to the job now. I got some last minute prepping to do, so I'm gonna get it all prepped up. I have some help today. I got someone that's gonna drive the buggy for me. So we're gonna go ahead and get set up, and then when the concrete gets there, then we'll get rolling and get the camera turned on and get this thing poured. So appreciate you guys being here watching. If it's your first time, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. I know there'll be a lot of comments, because anytime I post a concrete video, I get everybody's opinions. So go ahead and leave them down below, let me know what you think. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey, Wesley. 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 You can cut that buggy off. Huh? You can cut that buggy off. Hit that red button. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Can you rinse this off as well? Yeah. Right now it's just a bunch of cleaning up. When I finish. Yeah, I dumped that. I got your stuff off the ground now. That's alright. And I was trying to get that water hose that got kinked up in there, and everything just fell. So I got what was important at least.
So this one got a lot of on it, so okay. Not much will come off, but
I had plastic to put up, but I just didn't have time to put it up. You what? I had plastic to put on that. I usually take plastic up so I don't have them, but I didn't have time. What did you have planned today? Huh? So what did you have planned today? I was going to work on that floor in the carport. Oh, nice. But I've got tomorrow. When do you go back to work? Monday. Hey. Is this your first time ever taking a vacation like that? At home, yeah. With this job? Huh? I said with this job? Yeah, I mean, I've taken like a whole week off before, but we've gone somewhere or done something.
all right, crew, as you can see, we got the concrete down. I just got back from taking the buggy and dropping it back off at the rental spot, so I just want to give you guys an update on where we're at. I got it all cleaned up, all the tools cleaned up, got the pad floated, got it bull floated. I got my joint lines marked. I'm gonna have a joint relief joint up the middle, and then down the side right here, split it into 4 even sections. So like I said, I was just waiting for it to set up. Looks like probably needs another 10-15 minutes before I can really start. I did do a first pass on the edger, just to kind of, you know, get things looking somewhat orderly. But I wanted to give you guys that update. Like I said, I've been out here getting it poured. I did get some help finally today, so I appreciate that. All right, so we're still wet, still waiting on it to dry up a little bit, but I got my joints cut in, roughed in at least, as far as I can reach. Like I said, when it dries up a little bit more, I'll get out there on the knee boards and finish cutting them in. I just wanted to get them roughly on there. So like I said, gonna have 4 equal squares, but like I said, still wet. I poured out a 6 lump, and I'm in the shade, but the sun's coming up out around this way. So though I poured this one first, I'm sure this one will probably be ready, so I'll probably go from here to there and then see how these two dry up. But like I said, I'm getting some sun now, so that water's starting to come to the top. Just want to give you guys an update of where we're at. It's coming together. This time I'm not losing. I know this might be a lot of people's first time watching me pour concrete. I did post a video a few weeks back of me pouring a concrete patio They got away from me, and I had a lot of people telling me that I needed to quit doing concrete. I needed to go work for somebody and learn just because I'm young, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? I got some pretty thick skin, so it don't really bother me or affect me too much, but I call this my redemption patio. So hopefully the people who watched that last video come across this one as well. Maybe give me a little bit more credit, because like I said, anybody I've ever talked to in the concrete world has lost concrete before. So like I said, that was my first time losing it, and I did what I could with it. But like I said, I knew I poured this one early in the morning. I had plenty of shade, and I poured it more wet, so I know I wouldn't have any issues with it. But like I said, I don't really let words affect me too much, but I just want to come on here and kind of address those things. Like I said, it's easy to kind of get online and talk behind a computer screen, or you know, give people your input. And my thing is, if you are someone who has a lot of you know, knowledge on concrete, and you want to spread it, you know, sometimes the way your message gets across online doesn't really come off as helpful. So if you're trying to be helpful and you claim you're trying to be helpful, there's better ways to come off it than, you know, dragging someone who is out here trying to get it. Like I said, I'm not really too worried about it. I don't really get too down on myself about things like that. Like I said, I knew I would have another one, and I knew it would come out good. So like I said, I'm not done yet. With that being said, I do need to let this sit up a little longer. But I just kind of wanted to address that, you know. It don't affect me too much at all. I'm not going to quit doing concrete because someone online tells me that, you know, I suck or I this or that. Like I said, I'm here doing my thing, and wherever you're at, hopefully you're doing your thing. A lot of times you click on these people's profiles anyway, and they're like bots, or have, you know, videos about sheep running around in their yard. So I'm just like, I don't really take too much to what they say anyway. So like I said, I'm here going to finish this up, and then we'll see what we can get done with a nice broom. We're gonna do a light broom finish. It's not gonna be nothing heavy. So like I said, we'll be here for a little bit longer, but I'm just taking care of business in the meantime. All right, crew, good morning. We just made it back to the job. I got the form stripped off. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing washed down, get all the boogers off of it, but it dried up real nice. I'm actually very proud of it. It's probably one of my better patios I've ever done. So I'll give everybody credit. Having a helper, even just to drive the buggy, definitely made things smoother. There's my hand cut joints. So there's very little, what are they called, beehiving or honeycombing. There you go. Very little honeycombing on the edges. Came out pretty nice and smooth. So like I said, I'm very happy with this. The homeowner is going to actually come and put rock on the outside, so I'm not going to come back with topsoil. But let me go ahead and get this thing power washed. This is what it looked like before. Then we'll go ahead and see what it looks like after, before I seal it. So very nice though. All right, so I just finished washing it off, letting it dry up. I used the leaf blower to blow off all the water, try to get it as dry as I can, but waiting for it to dry out all the way so I can seal it. But this is the project, a 14 by 10 patio, and then the awning as well. Like I said, we subbed the awning out, but regardless, job well done. Hand cut joints, nice even squares. Last thing I am gonna do after it dries, I actually mow this property as well, believe it or not. So when I come back and mow, I'm gonna touch up this pole with the paint. I got it clean as best I can, but I might hit it with the primer and do one more coat of paint. That's really all I have to do. But like I said, 4 even squares, hand tool joints, and the customer is going to come back and put rock around the border, so there's no reason to fill it in with topsoil per their request. But nice little awning patio extension, gonna more than double the size of their entertainment space. Gonna be nice to see what it looks like after they get it all furnished and ready for their first get together. But so like I said, this was my redemption patio. It turned out a lot better than my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, it's called I Tried. I failed pouring a patio by myself. Like I said, I had someone on the buggy this time, and it helped tremendously. Usually it takes me over an hour to get the concrete on the ground. It took me 30 minutes. Like I said, and I got it at a 6-inch lump this time, so I had really no excuse other than to get it done right, which I did. And like I said, I'm very happy. The customer's very happy. They're to give me final payment. So like I said, I'm just gonna seal this bad boy, and this is a job well done.